Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10 for Thursday, July 18th of 2024. I'm Matt, that's my brother Tim. We got a great lineup for you guys today.
Guys, we list 10 new trees. We actually list 20 every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about 10 of them on the tables this morning so you can get some size examples. Y'all get excited. We got some cool ones today. We're going to start off today with some 3 gallons of Quirkus Robur Compacta.
This is a fun one we're bringing back in a bigger size. We have offered this before, but just in 1 gallons. Guys, these are excellent size 3 gallons. You're going to love this one. This is an English oak that is absolutely amazing for its dense, compact habit.
Yeah, the thing I like about this tree is it only gets about 6 to 8 feet in height, about 6 to 8 foot in width in 10 years, making this really globose type shape. That's where it gets the name Compacta, because it really has a small and dense form overall.
Those English oak leaves are really nice, especially when it's a dense, compact layering like this. Really gives you some amazing textures in the garden. Typically great red fall color in the fall. Absolutely outstanding plant. I think you're going to love this small, dense English oak.
Guys, next up, we've got Hydrangea Petiolaris Miranda. This is a climbing hydrangea with a unique style of variegation.
I love climbing hydrangeas. Some people call them skies of phragma. I think it really just depends on how they're trying to get them in the country. I love this thing. It is definitely in the hydrangea family, guys. This one gets about as big as you stake it. You stake this up, give it a shady location, let this climb an old oak tree, somewhere with some woody matter that it can hang on to and continue to climb. Absolutely love what this one does. You're gonna get a white flower to this one, but guys, with this hydrangea, the flower is the foliage. It's an incredible variegated plant that really brings it with that striking variegation.
I've had some customers take old wooden fences and actually run this along those old wooden fences. Gives you something a little bit extra out there. And these things do have a lace cap bloom on it that adds even an extra ornamental appeal. But the variegation, that's what Miranda's known for. And its vigorous climbing habit, once it gets established, it starts hooking on. This plant takes off.
I've really been tempted to add some wood to some of our metal fences, just different places so they can cling to and continue to grow. I think this would be a great way to screen out a neighbor through a see-through fence with a showy, awesome background. I mean, this can be a backdrop for maples, anything you want. You can get as creative with this as you want, stake it up, make it into unique shapes. I have seen this one grow independently staked to about 5 feet, then unstaked. Makes a beautiful structure all on its own.
Now, one way I've grown this is I've grown this up a tree. So I've had some old, large tulip poplars, plant this at the base of it, started on the tulip poplar, and it starts climbing the tree to add some extra ornamental appeal.
Awesome plant. Grab one today. Miranda back on the 10 at 10. All right, guys, next up, we got Nyssa sylvatica Autumn Cascade.
Guys, the reasons I like these black gums, the tupelos, is they can handle a wetter area in the landscape, and this one is a selection from Australia that has a strong weeping habit.
These are going to work zones 4 through 9 and give you an incredible structure with that weeping habit, but also a really fun plant, guys. 4 through 9 is going to give it a lot, but this one, because of its wet tolerance, can really go in a lot of areas where you can't plant Japanese maples, give you a unique weeping structure. Incredible fall colors from oranges to red. Grab you an Autumn Cascade today. All right, y'all, we're bringing back some great sizes in Miku Jaku. We've got some 1 gallons of Acer japonicum, Miku Jaku. Probably our fastest selling Acer japonicum of them all. Maybe it's because we've offered it here for a while. You know the Dancing Peacock, phenomenal Acer japonicum, that divided leaf, showstopper in the fall, and some really good size 1 gallons going on right now.
Now, this thing is called the Dancing Peacock because the leaves look like a peacock displaying its feathers. Everything's bigger in the japonicums. That also means in the springtime you get some really nice showy fuchsia red blooms in the early spring. The clusters are much larger than they are in typical Japanese maples, and that shows off really well against this large full moon style foliage. I mean, for me, Miku Jaku, it's a rock star, and it's an amazing Acer japonicum. Many people need to have in your garden if you don't have it today.
Same plant as Aconitafolium. You'll see it listed that way sometimes. We list it by Miku Jaku, the original names. You may receive one with an Aconitafolium label or Miku Jaku label from us. Exact same plant. Love this tree, guys. Now, the fall colors are some of the best in the entire maple world for this tree. I love it. Sometimes I've had crazy oranges to bold reds. I've had, a plethora of yellows and oranges going on at the same time. It's really a showstopper. One of my premium years for this in my garden was neon orange. Absolutely stood out. I absolutely love what this one brings. Now, when it hits that fall color, you get the perfect peacock feather display on that rounded leaf. Grab you a good size Miku Jaku today. Another fan favorite coming back to the table. Great sizes, guys. We have Acer palmatum Sweet Lorrain.
Yeah, Sweet Lorrain is one of the first reticulated lace leaf Japanese maples. There's filigree. There's not many in that set of reticulated lace leaves. And Sweet Lorrain is one of those that gives you some really bright, vibrant pinks in the early spring.
I love this thing. It is insane. I've got a nice one in my garden. I'll have to do a whole cultivar breakdown on one of these sometime when we're back at Buckholtz Farm. Another Talon Buckholtz introduction. That reticulation is just amazing. Think of this as like a Ghost Series crossed with a lace leaf. It's got everything you want from both worlds. That pink reticulation. They've been in some shade right now, so a little bit more green. Giving this one early morning sun, late day shade tends to give it its best color. Typically about 3 to 4 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. Small, compact habit. Looks amazing in a container garden as well.
And it has that traditional cascading habit that you think of a typical lace leaf, but with the reticulated variegation, you see the veins, especially in the early spring, with some pink color. It just gives it something really special and different in the garden. For me, this is an awesome lace leaf Japanese maple you should definitely try out. So guys, coming up July 26th and 27th, we've got an open house coming up. You'll want to be here 8 a.m. to noon. Tons of cool plants. We've got greenhouses filled with Japanese maples and lots of other collectors who love Japanese maples.
Yeah, come shoot a top 5 with us. We'd love to show you around our greenhouses. It's going to be rain or shine. Heavy cutoff both days at 12, guys. It is July, so we want to get everybody to the greenhouses before it gets really hot. Come see us early, 8 o'clock. We'll have a great lineup of plants. I think you'll really be impressed with what we brought up. A ton of new things. If you've been at a previous open house, there'll be a lot of treasures you've never seen before in those greenhouses. All right, y'all, here's another one we're bringing back today. It's variegated, it's yellow, it's outstanding. We've got Acer palmatum antirrhene.
Antirrhene was a variegated sport that was found on the cultivar Summer Gold. In the early spring, the unique style of variegation, which has this irregular edge to it, can be a bright orange if you give it some color. If you give it some sunlight, it'll really bring out the color. It can get some red color sometimes too in that variegation, and that yellow part of the leaf gives a good contrast against the variegation.
Yeah, this one's a showstopper. In the fall, you get some pink with that creamy border as well. This one handles a good bit of sun. We've been really impressed with sun tolerance being a summer gold sport. Absolute showstopper though. Tall, narrow plant. Doesn't get too tall, 6 to 8 foot in 10 years, but a very narrow footprint in the landscape. Looks great in the container or in the ground. It really brings a ton of interesting yellow with that ruffled leaf. Everywhere you can use a summer gold, you can use something like antirrhene to add texture, color, and variegation. I love pairing this with Geisha Gone Wild. That's a staple we keep here on Mr. Maple. I think if you put Geisha Gone Wild with summer gold, you got a complete garden going on right there.
I mean, I think a purple ghost would do great as well, but some classics like Crimson Queen, Tamukiyama, Anabashitari, Garnet, they're gonna have that weeping cascading habit, contrast the shape and the color. So this tree fits in a lot of people's gardens and really brings that oomph factor with that yellow. Y'all, next up, we've got Acer Campbellia subspecies Sinets.
This is a rare Acer species in section palmata. We're bringing it back today. Guys, this is grafted from the Keith Arboretum. That's where the original hot blonde seedling was found. We've had great success with some of the cool plants out of there. A little more heat tolerance on the Campbellia subspecies Sinets. These are amazing plants, big green lush foliage. You kind of get that olive color, some pinkish new growth going on. I think sometimes with this one, the new growth can be almost bouquet-like in its display.
I know when we went and visited the Keith Arboretum, Charlie Keith took us to this tree and said, I love it. And the reason he loves Acer Campbellia subspecies Sinets is the fall color is an electric, vibrant shade of bright orange. And so you can get some yellows early, but when it gets to that orange, it is one of the best orange fall colors I've seen on a maple.
Very durable for the south, very heat tolerant. The kind of pink overlays it kind of gets into that orange, I think, took the fall color to even a little bit more next level. There were some yellows, some pinks, some oranges, just a little bit of everything going on. I think this is such a next level plant. We love, whenever possible, offering you guys rare species. Tim and I have the goal at some point of collecting everything in section palmata. We've dabbled in it. We take some time off, we come back to it. We wanted to get this one grafted and back out to you guys. I know a lot of you Acer chasers are gonna love having a weird species like this.
Now this is in section palmata, so it's from China, but it's closely related to Japanese maples. It's actually even grafted onto Acer palmatum itself. This is one of those rare species. Take advantage of it while we offer a cool tree like this. They're gonna sell out fast. Our website doesn't hold it for you until you complete that checkout process.
It may be a few years before we come back to this species. We kind of like to cycle through and offer some different rare ones. Acer Campbellia Sinets though, guys, it is a showstopper. You're gonna love this plant. Durable, colorful, and really rare. A lot of people are gonna see it and know it looks kind of like a Japanese maple, but it brings a lot to the table. Woohoo! Guys, we're bringing back the green Twinkle.
Yeah, this is a selection, a newer selection by Talon Buckholtz. He sent us one and we planted it in Matt's garden at his home. It really has this nice, compact, dense habit that is really special, and it's a compact, dense dwarf Matsumuri.
Really cool plant, great yellowy orange fall color. This one kind of grows in that Kiyohime style, like a toadstool, low umbrella kind of shape. Not weeping, but that low mounding shape overall. excellent platform for all that color. It makes a great backdrop for other maples to play off of. That dissected leaf really gives it something extra. It's a unique look in the landscape. Looks awesome in a big container as well, so you can put this as a topper to a patio planter. Have a great garden in just that. For me, it's been excellent for sun tolerance. I think it's going to do really well in sun up to zone 8 based off our experience with it. Really a showstopper for a plant that's going to work zones 5 through 9.
Now, the older growth will look more like almost fascination on its leaf. The newer growth can look almost like green strap. And the shape overall, like a Kiyohime or a Seiho, I mean, this is a very unique tree, and there's not anything else like it. And that's one of the reasons I like it. It's just dense, compact, and it's one of those trees that's going to stand out in the garden.
You get a green twinkle in your eye, grab you one today. Another fan favorite back on the table. This one right here is funky shape, be pretty cool for bonsai. You can stake these guys. It's Allen's Gold.
Allen's Gold is an amazing spring interest tree. Leaves out in the spring with some of the brightest shades of orange in that early spring, then going to a golden yellow. It's been very resilient and heat tolerant around the Raleigh area, been able to handle full sun. And guys, it doesn't stop there. After it goes to that spring color, it's a pine bark.
Yeah, this one's really cool. It's next level. It's one of the first spring interest pine bark trees. It's a little slower to develop, but it's going to have very similar bark to that of Nishikigawa. Sometimes Arakawa-like buckling on it. Really beautiful plant. The older, the very first one, it has pine bark all the way to the base now and a huge diameter. It is a beautiful specimen, guys. I think you're going to love this one, especially bonsai people. You can take air layers, grafts, rooted cuttings off this, create tons of content. These are low graft uprights. We always let people know our original trees are grafted. The best way to grow a tree in the ground is from graft. So you can get a graft, put this out, make as much bonsai content as your heart desires from it. Great for air layering for that very reason. Get that older developed bark and start out with something that looks, ancient already.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it can give you that pine bark and give you some spring interest, it's a game changer. I mean, Nishikigawa is great. All these other trees are fantastic. But this takes what we love about something like Winayama, even more dynamic in its spring color.
Gosh, I tell you, the color almost rivals that of like a Kane.
Kristen Star.
Kristen Star, it's up there. It's got a little bit more next level yellow in the spring.
And it brings you that and the pine bark. So it's two awesome trees in one, and it's a tree that's going to sell out quick again today.
Grab you one before they're gone, guys. If you're looking for one of these at open house, you may want to add it to cart, have it held here for you.
Y'all, next up, Acer palmatum, Lilians Jewel.
Yeah, last but not least, guys, this one's a showstopper. I love Lilians Jewel. It's the best pink on red. I love this one for its durability, for its lack of reversion. Really great plant for not reverting much. You have to prune out any all red you see on this one, but it's rare. It's the least reverting of any of that bright pink on red forms. Showstopper of a plant. You've heard us tell a story about it many times. Lilian, our friend Jonathan Savage, that's his daughter. So we always tell people to get the name right. It's not extravaganza. It's not little Annie. I don't know who Annie is, but hadn't met her. I have met Lilian. Make sure to call it by the right name, y'all.
Now this tree is upright. We're talking 8 feet in 10 years, a really nice semi-cascading habit. And when it's red in the spring, it's a cherry red. And when it's pink in the spring, it's a bright pink. So you get a cherry red on pink. Late summer, in more shaded area, you get some green on white. To me, this tree, it fits so many people's top fives because it is that tree that just gives that wow factor. And for a Japanese maple, it's hard to beat Lilians Jewel when you think about variegation.
It's one of the most wow factor pinks you can find. Like, I love this plant. A lot of people will confuse them in 1 gallons for Hanamatoi because both hold that insane pink on dark red coloration. This one of Matsumuri, though, more of an upright tree, very multi-stemmed in its approach, looks great in the container. It'd be a great pairing with that Anireme I talked about earlier for height and color. You're gonna love this one. Tim mentioned it, but when you get this in some shade, the color does change a bit. You get more cream and mint and white and pink. You'll still get that pink on the new growth. If you're giving it early morning sun, you'll hold more of a pink on red coloration.
Now this weekend, we've got a podcast which is pretty different. We've got a podcast that's called The Collector's Corner. It's something new we're gonna be trying out, and I really hope that y'all really like the style. Matt and I, we have topics: green, red, dwarf, some different
Most interesting new cultivar you've seen. Some you haven't heard about yet.
I think they're gonna get pretty excited about it. So get excited about the podcast this weekend. It's gonna have a new flavor. Matt and I are just talking about some cool trees we wanna talk about when we are given basically a topic. And then we choose a Japanese maple cultivar to match that topic and we talk about it. So get excited, y'all. It's a new, different way to talk about Japanese maples, and I'm really excited about the Collector's Corner.
Hey guys, I hope to see you at open house. Remember, hard cutoff at 12 both days. We look forward to having you out here.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.